Chapter 1, The Girl with a Plan. Before I was born, my mother was a girl with a plan. An Ewha girl. She attended Ewha Women's University in Seoul, the most prestigious women's university in Seoul, Korea, at the time, where the country's brightest daughters studied. Artists, scholars, leaders. At the time, they were almost mythical. My mother was many things: an exceptional artist, a beautiful vocalist, and striking in a way that made people turn their heads. But she never knew love. She believed only in survival. She carried the expectations of status in a country still rebuilding from the ruins of war. Beauty, elite education, prominent marriage, immigration, a better life. She was young, too young to know that the price of survival was abandoning the softest parts of herself. Chapter 2, The First Leaving. I don't remember the first time that my mother left me, but my body does. And the I love you, it would take decades to hear again. 엄마가 너무 사랑해. 엄마가 꼭 다시 올게. I love you so much. I'll come back for you. I promise. I was a baby in Korea when my mother boarded a plane to America without me. Not because she didn't love me, but because sometimes life makes you make unfathomable choices. The American dream with my father and brother, but I didn't come soon enough. Visas have expiration dates, so I was delivered early, and a family separated for survival. Forced to be born months too soon, leaving the woman who carried me with a surgically scarred body she carried for the rest of her life. I spent nearly 2 years with an aunt I barely knew, and the mother who bore me to carry the weight of her decision. And somewhere in those early years, my nervous system learned something long before I knew words. Love can leave. Chapter 3, The Pink Girls. New visa application, approved. She came for me. And a few years later, after I came to America, my mother enrolled me in ballet. But she always had somewhere else to be. The long days of a working immigrant woman. She could no longer hold the softest parts of herself, bearing the weight of long hours, 2 young children, and an emotionally absent husband. Bitterness, resentment, hardness, and loud screams eventually became her pastime. She became busy surviving a life that didn't leave room for pink, or for softness, for hugs, or for love. I see the girls with their ponytails, they're dressed in pink. They have mommies who smile and applaud, even their tights are pink. The teacher gives them big hugs and smiles, even she is wearing pink. They stand in plie and move their arms like rainbows, even the walls are pink. My leotard is black, and my hair is black, and I have no pink ribbon for my hair, and I stumble like a little black bear, and I have no mommy who is there. Maybe one day, but I watch with hope, if I can dance like a pretty ballerina, if I aspire and pray, I'll win my mommy's day, and I too will then earn wearing the glorious pink. The little girl in the black leotard grew up. I spent the next 20 years trying to become the daughter who would finally earn her mother's love. I built a life, a career, a version of success she once dreamed for herself. But no matter how far I climbed, it was never enough for hugs, for love, or for pink. And one day, I fell in love. Chapter 4, Shame. I met the man who would become my husband. We waited years for my parents' blessing. It never came. because the man I loved was black. And to my mom, I was still the little girl in the black leotard, stumbling like the little black bear. To my mother, this was not just a marriage, it was humiliation. But I had found something she never had, love. My mother saw something different. No, 때문에 너무 창피해. Because of you, I am ashamed. Don't ever show your face to the Korean community again, and do not come back to our family. And just like that, the distance between us became wider than the ocean she once crossed for me. Chapter 5, 2 seconds. A decade passed. I got married, I built a life, and eventually I became a mother. My mother did not come when my daughter was born. 6 months later at Christmas, she came unexpectedly, without my father. She held her granddaughter for a moment. 2 seconds, to be exact. My daughter, in her pink sleeping cap, looked up at her with the kind of unconditional love only babies can give. And then my mother handed her back to me. My mother could not remember the softness her heart once held. 나는 아직도 절대 못 받아들여. I still can never accept this. And she left. Chapter 6, the bridge. Even more years passed, and the silence between us got even quieter. My daughter learned to walk, to talk. She was sunshine, but my mother did not see any of it. When my father became ill after decades of estrangement, I showed up and I cared for him. But my parents still had not met their granddaughter, except for her 2-second regret. Until one day, we showed up at their doorstep. My daughter didn't know about the years of silence. She only knew that these were her grandparents, so she ran to them. 할머니, 할아버지. She hugged them, she smiled, and she loved them the way children do, without history, without judgment. My daughter loved them before they were ready to love her back. And one day, they fell in love with her. My daughter grew older, my parents grew older, and my mother began forgetting things. At first it was small things, dates, where she left her keys, but eventually she forgot something else too. She forgot the anger and hardness she had been carrying for so many years. That granddaughter she once held for only 2 seconds is now the one she asked for, with love and tenderness. The strange mercy of dementia, it's that sometimes it erases the wounds that we carried for years. In her softer moments now, she tells me she loves me. 우리 딸 사랑해. Words I waited a lifetime to hear. Chapter 7, the softest part. For most of my life, I wondered why my mother couldn't be the kind of mother I needed, why she couldn't stay, why she couldn't soften. But when you become a mother yourself, something in your heart changes. And I am able to be the kind of mother I once prayed for. When my daughter was little and she took ballet, I stood looking through the windows watching the girls in their pink ribbons. And I remembered the girl in the black leotard who thought she had to earn love. And I realized love was never something a child was meant to earn. She withheld it because she lived without it, trading love and survival, trading love and softness for survival, crossing an ocean to give me a better life. And now, when I hold her hand, as her memories disappear and the tenderness returns to her heart, I no longer ask why she couldn't love me better. I simply whisper, 엄마, 사랑해. 이해해. I love you, Mom. I understand.